We will start initially with approval of the minutes from February 25th. Anybody have any questions or comments about those minutes? And if not, is there a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Silvana,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Jimmy.
Let the record show he raised his hand.
All right. First up is DEP 313-599, 53 Court Street. It's a continued public hearing notice of intent for installation of new inlet control structure. Bill, you leading us off?
I am. Thanks everybody, appreciate it. So if I can share my screen. So we did that site walk on Saturday, or last Saturday, I should say, to review essentially the area and explain kind of a better, I would say more of an impact to the whole neighborhood and kind of explain what's actually out there. So what I'm showing you right now is a little snippet from our GIS looking at Brewster Road. So if you can follow my cursor here, we have a drainage system that comes through Brewster Road, discharges through what used to be a stream bed that came generally in this area and connected through Brewster, Drury, and then down to Jackson Lane to a wetland system behind these houses. The inlet we're talking about is this green inlet and the green dot that's shown. Our proposal right now is to install a inlet that would basically eliminate the open pipe that's there and provide a little bit of additional treatment and improve our ability to maintain the system. There's a small ditch that runs between the outfall and the inlet and the stream, which we've determined to be wetlands, and that is why we're here to file. We have limited impact or very minimal impact to the wetland in the stream that's here. And basically nothing's really changed from what we presented. We didn't really provide much additional information. So that's it in a real nutshell. And I'm happy to answer any questions based on the site walk, but we were there for a few minutes and walked the site and I think it's pretty consistent with what we presented.
I wasn't actually able to attend the site walk, but I know there were those that did. Anybody who did attend the site walk, do you have any comments or concerns?
No, basically, Bill is just trying to replace, besides the pipe, Bill, isn't there something else there that you're replacing?
Well, the pipe is there. So what we did is we put in the grate of a catch basin and put it vertical to anything from, yeah. But I mean, that I wouldn't call that anything that's really installed. It's more just kind of placed there as a diversion, in case there's an issue with, the resident had some concerns about her kids potentially getting down there and stuff. Okay. So that was more just.
You're pulling that up and putting in this new.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll be replacing about, probably 75 feet of pipes, 60 feet of pipes, somewhere in that range. That extends under this driveway, basically right to the edge of the driveway is what we're looking to repair.
Was there any discussion on the site walk about changing the configuration of that inlet structure to possibly accommodate some other connection down the road?
No, we didn't talk about that. I mean, it's pretty clear that it's a stream. There was, frozen water in parts of it. It's a wet area. So yeah, we really didn't discuss any of that. We talked about the kind of the orientation and how it would work. I had the design plan with me. This kind of more of a context plan, if you want to look at it that way. That's kind of the word I was looking for as I was stumbling at the beginning of this thing. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward, honestly.
Yeah, and we talked about the fact that nothing more could be done because that is a wetlands area, and you can't, you can't, again, as we discussed at last meeting, you can't put a pipe all the way through it, all the way up to, you know, to where it starts at 55. You just have to leave it the way it is. And the work you're doing is just, you know, in the area of the town's easement, and just to kind of take care of that particular issue. And then, but then you're also going to be draining having the flow go out to, you know, out to the other street. So that will make things better probably in terms of flow.
There you go. Yeah. So it also provides a little bit of additional ability to maintain sediment and whatnot. So I'm getting inside the plant. You figure you have a run, this red area here that comes down, and then it discharges back behind the houses. So there really isn't an opportunity to really clean out anything here as much as we like. So, you know, we'll have a sump pump installed there that allows us to get into this and remove sediment that might build up.
Is everyone else here?
Yeah, Jimmy, I think you actually have two, I think you might have called in and are online. So we're getting feedback.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Bob, you can mute one of his lines, right?
I just did mute Jimmy, and I think the feedback went away.
Yeah, that should do it. Yeah.
But now I actually don't see Jimmy anymore.
Yeah, I think he has two of them. If you scroll down, you'll see him again.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
You know, can I ask a question on this map? The green. What is the green? I'm confused by the green.
It's tree canopy. So when we were out there, obviously all the leaves would drop. But if we were out there in the middle of the spring or summer, we would see the tree canopy. So the green.
Okay, the green is okay. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bob Brooks, and from June Circle. I have a quick question. I have someone that wants to get on the Zoom meeting by phone, but they're asking for passcode.
Yeah, let's see. The dial and number meeting ID would be 988-2946-3583. That's a meeting ID. I don't know if that will.
Okay, I'll see if that worked for him. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments regarding this? Okay.
I think if you try to mute Jimmy on his video and let him speak on the telephone, that would probably work for him.
Yeah, I'm not even seeing Jimmy now.
No, he's there.
I see his picture. We just can't hear him.
Yeah.
I
There
think
he
it
is.
looks like his second window went away.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Jim, call back.
Actually, hey, Jimmy, can you hear us? Can see you. You're not muted.
Yeah, he can hear us.
Sorry about the
That's strange.
Yeah, so
Jim, excuse me, Peter, can you go next door to the computer?
The IT consultant's coming over. Call one of your kids, Jimmy.
We can't hear you.
So try dialing in on your phone.
He's usually on the Zoom but with his phone, isn't he, or not?
Yeah, but he switched over to a computer last meeting, I believe. So the webcam's certainly working, but the there should be a mic on the webcam. I don't know if he's on a laptop or a desktop. All right. Well, while he's trying to figure that out, anybody want to make a motion to close?
I made a motion to close the hearing.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Silvana,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Frank.
Yeah.
Peter.
Yes.
And Jimmy, can you raise your hand? Okay, raised his hand. And I also vote to close. All right.
I'm just glad Jimmy didn't tell me I'm number one.
All right, so 53 Court Street is closed.
Well, I guess there's no special conditions, correct?
I don't see a need for any.
Do you want to just get out of the way and vote on a order of conditions now? Just standard order?
We certainly could do that. If somebody like to make a motion to do standard order of conditions for 53 Court.
I'll make a motion to issue a standard order.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Ken?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Silvana?
Yes.
Jimmy, can you raise your hand? Yeah, raise your hand if you want to issue a standard order. Yeah, okay, Jimmy votes yes.
Like once, yes.
And actually, I just missed somebody.
Me.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Yes.
Yay.
All right.
All right, who did I miss?
This is probably gonna be, yeah, this feedback now.
So,
Turn the volume down.
Bob, you the one with this picture.
Okay. Jimmy, try talking now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I muted the computer one. I did miss somebody in the vote.
Shit.
Ken, did I get you?
Yeah, you got me.
All right, I'm not sure who I missed, if I did miss somebody or not, but I also vote to close.
I don't think I got me,
you, right?
but I vote yes.
Okay. Oh, Frank, it was you. All right. All right, all kinds of technical difficulties tonight.
Bob,
Yes.
I have a quick question. That number, he already had the ID number, but it asked for a participant passcode.
Okay.
Bob, I have the passcode.
Oh, do you? Okay, share it, please.
It's 529458.
529458. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Wow, where'd you get that, Ken?
It's in the
I was in the
invite,
meeting
right?
invite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that the right
Oh,
one?
okay.
Yeah, is that the right one?
I was just looking at the agenda. It's not on the agenda.
It's in the email that Sherry sends out with the Zoom link.
Yep.
Under the Zoom link, it says meeting ID and then passcode.
Got it.
All right, so moving on. Next is DEP 313-600-100 Hemlock Road, Northeast Metropolitan Regional Vocational High School, public hearing for abbreviated notice of resource area delineation. And as a refresher to, any abutters, we do not have a project in front of us. This is a hearing to asking us to confirm the resource areas on the property. And that's all we actually have at this point before us.
I understand. I do have some questions specifically about this at the present time, or should I just wait?
Well, I guess hold on for a minute, Mr. Brooks, and let's just kind of recap where we're at.
That's fine, no problem.
So we were looking to hire a consulting firm to actually verify the resource areas that may or may not be present on the property, and also look for vernal pools. We do have a recommendation before us for a company called Oxbow Associates. And what we need to do is decide as a commission if we want to vote to approve them to review the project for us at the applicant's expense.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So I thought that what the first thing that had to happen was the flags had to be verified that they were all there. Has that happened yet?
Elaine was going to confirm that, I believe. But either way, that doesn't stop us from what we need to do. It's just that the applicant, our, hired firm would need to confirm them either way whenever they are established or reestablished.
I only say that because the cost estimate varies. I mean, it's not an estimate if they're more than, if there aren't enough flags there. That's why I asked the question, Bob.
Sure. I mean, it's possible you may need to add additional flags too to better define an area. Rebecca?
Yes.
I don't actually have the proposal in front of me, but
okay.
I don't know if you can bring that up.
I can email it to myself. Hold on.
What do you need, Bob? I have it.
I've got it open too.
You have it?
Okay, Frank, if you just want to share it, if there's any questions, we can look at it together.
You guys see it?
Yep, got it.
So the section I was talking about is just on page 2 under exclusion assumptions, that's all. But you're right, Bob, no matter what, we have to do it.
Mhm.
Is the applicant here tonight? I don't see them. Elaine, do we know if all the flags are there?
Yes, I went out last Friday and checked them, and they're all there.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, that solves it. Thanks, Elaine.
Has the applicant seen this letter? Do we know if it was forwarded to them for approval?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Hi, this is Andrea Kendall. I'm just joining, and I see that we're talking about the project at Northeast Metro Tech.
Yes, Andrea, go ahead. Thank you.
Sorry. Hi. I'm just seeing that you're talking about a proposal now, so I'm just getting up to speed. I don't know if you have any questions for me. Happy to go over some things.
So we're talking about the letter that proposal from an outside consultant.
Okay.
And apparently you have not seen the proposal.
As far as I know, I haven't. I don't know if Niche has, but I presume not. They would have shared it with me.
I haven't seen. I'd like to get a copy of it, but I'd like to, unless somebody wants to talk about that, I do have two, I think, very important questions. One is in the agenda piece where it has a list of the area delineation for 3,181 linear feet of BVW. Does that include the area that's on the backside of June Circle? Or is this, or all these areas scattered throughout the area of the whole project?
Andrea, do you want to take that or?
Sure. I mean, as far as I understand, you know, the peer review consultant would be reviewing the wetland flags that LEC established that are depicted on the ANRAD plans. So it's just limited to what
that would be the Z
property.
The whole property. Okay, good. The other question I have is I was down at Town Hall yesterday, and after I was done doing some research, I talked to the person at the front desk, and I wanted to get the email address to the Conservation Committee. And she said, you want a Conservation Department? I figured Conservation Committee. She said, I have it. So you could send an email out, it'd be faster. I was just curious, did anybody from the Conservation Committee receive my email?
Elaine or Rebecca, did you receive an email from Mr. Brooks?
There are two emails addresses that are listed on the website. One is for the Conservation Department, which is what I will get. The other one is the Conservation Commission, which one of you guys gets. I don't know, that was set up when I wasn't here, so I don't know who is supposed to be checking that. So there are two, so it depends on what he said. I do get them from the...
Okay. I asked her which would be the fastest way at the front. She told me if I sent it that, she gave me the Conservation Commission email address to send it. So I drafted a letter after going to the town. And the reason why I did it is because one of my neighbors asked me, who owns that property? Is it Northeast or is it Wakefield? Who is it? So I went on to the Wakefield site, looked up the assessor's maps that they use to assess all the properties. And I was surprised to see the area is owned by the town of Saugus, which butts up against the back of June Circle. So I thought it was kind of strange because it was, so I went down actually to the assessor's office and I looked it up. It was map number 40A, page 2 of 2. And it shows that area behind, that abuts directly with June Circle is actually the owner is the town of Saugus. Now, if they own that property, then I'm just curious, do they have a conservation committee or is Wakefield oversees Saugus Conservation Committee, or what would be the status on that? I don't want to surprise you with this. That's why I sent the email out earlier.
Saugus would have their own conservation commission.
So you wouldn't have any decision making on that linear, the area where the wetlands is.
If it's in Saugus, they would also have the filing before them.
Is the property completely in Wakefield or is part of it in Saugus?
It looks like, it's hard to say because they from the information I saw on the feasibility study, it has so many different maps on there, and it looks like that there is a section of land on Wakefield, but I really don't know because the way it was put that the vocational school was developed on 28 acres of land. Now, is it their land, Saugus lands, Northeast lands, Wakefield land? I'm not really sure, but they said that Wakefield owns the property of 60 acres. So there seems to be a lot of confusion, and because the lack of transparency, nobody seems to get a definitive answer.
So I have a quick question. Can you guys see my screen with the project map up?
No.
No, we still see the
letter.
The
No.
letter.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, change your view.
Are you pulling up the NRAD plan that
Yeah.
shows the property line?
Yeah, so this was in the filing. The project area is in red. Is that correct, Andrea?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Andrea, did you verify who the owner was of that area?
Niche Engineering prepared and filed the ANRAD, but from what my research conveys is that it's all owned by the town.
The town of Wakefield.
So Bob, can you see the screen as well?
I can. Is the white line the
that is the white line that's
property line?
Yeah, my property line at the end of June Circle. If you can bring down that, keep going down there. That is 4.2 acres of town area. Wakefield town area. The property where to the, I guess it's the south side of June Circle, right there, that whole area is listed on the map as being owned by the town of Saugus.
No, on the survey, it says that whole parcel is owned. It says the whole parcel is Northeast Metro Regional Vocational School. That whole parcel extending that whole area within that red outline is owned, and it's in Wakefield. You can see the town line on this map too. It's that white line that runs kind of
the utilities. Yeah.
Yeah, the white line to the right of the red is the town line, correct?
I believe so. The one that runs parallel to
the property line.
Yep. So
the white
and the
line,
gap between it is the
white line. The white
no, that's
is Saugus. That white line coming up from Farm Street, it angles up going straight. To the right of that is Saugus.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Okay, if you go down to town, in fact, if William is at the town and he can pull up the map, pull up map 40A, page 2 of 2, and that area on Farm Street where it looks like a lake right there, with the wetlands, that is listed as the town of Saugus property.
So the records of the assessor's office may not be quite correct. So the assessor, the correct records are in the registry of deeds as I
asked, let me see, who was it? Kirsten Evans. I said, are these up to date? She says they're up to date. She told me they were up to date as of Tuesday. And every other piece of property has a number on it, specific number. But they says that she said that is listed as the town of Saugus property. I mean, I just want to save a lot of effort and time by making sure this is correct.
So is your theory maybe is that the town, even though the land is located in Wakefield, the title is in the town of Saugus?
I don't know about the titles, but when I went down there to find out who owns that land, they told me that it was owned by the town of Saugus.
But there are two different issues. One is, where is the property located? And if it's located in the town of Wakefield, it's our jurisdiction. The second question is, who actually owns it? But if it's in the town of Wakefield, Bob, it's our jurisdiction.
Even if it's owned by, you know, if it's owned by a private owner or if it's owned by, you know, it's in our jurisdiction.
Okay.
As long as it's located within the municipality, you know, the incorporated limits of the town of Wakefield.
Okay, so technically, the town of Wakefield does own that property.
We don't know that.
That's not the owner. It's located in the town.
In town of Wakefield.
Okay.
It's in Wakefield.
So my house is located in Wakefield, but it's not owned by Wakefield. You know.
Are you guys looking at the screen right now?
What town is located?
Do you see the assessor's information that I have in a web page?
Yes.
Yep.
That's all owned by Wakefield. Or it's owned by the Metropolitan. Oh, sorry, I just clicked on it.
Right. It's owned by the Voc not by the town.
Oh, it's okay.
But it's within the town.
Right, but it is within the town.
Right.
Okay, that's okay. It's just as long as I understand the clarity of it, because it's come up amongst us and who does own it, who doesn't own it, who has, you know, jurisdiction over it.
Yeah.
But we have jurisdiction because it's located in the town.
Okay, not a problem. Just when I saw it, I said, well, that's kind of strange. Let me find out. As you can tell, somewhat new, but I'm getting quite the education.
Was that it for the questions that you had, Mr. Brooks?
Oh no, I've got more. I've got basically all the questions from a lot of the neighbors and abutters that have a few things answered. One was does anybody know how they determine the BVW? Because normally I was told there's 3 different ways to figure out that. How would they figure the wetlands out?
Yeah, in our report, Chair, would you like me to respond to that?
Yes, please, Andrea.
Okay. Yeah, in our report, it conveys our methodology, which relies on the state procedures. It's a combination of wetland plant community, soils, and hydrology. So that's all taken into consideration when establishing the boundary of the wetland.
Okay, where that wetland is, just on the back of June Circle and Farm Street, the big area.
Yep, on the southern portion of the lot, I see.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Frank, right there.
Yeah. I did a walkthrough this past a couple days and found that if I measured, how far into this wetlands do you intend to move the road or dig out or fill in?
We don't have a project in front of us. There is no road.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So we really cannot answer any of those questions. We have seen nothing regarding a project.
Okay, so we got to wait. Probably have to wait for the other questions too.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we have not even voted to have somebody confirm the wetlands and resource areas. We've not done a site walk. Nothing's occurred yet.
So nothing's going. Well, nothing will be passed or anything proposed tonight, would it?
No, no.
Okay, so we're still waiting to do the walkthrough, the site walk.
Yeah. So again, we're going to vote to hire somebody to confirm the resource areas.
Okay.
And at some point, that confirmation or change will occur. Then we may or may not see a project, depending on what happens. It could be a lot of things in between, or time that goes by between verifying all of these resource areas and actually anything else happening after that.
But Bob, can I just clarify? We're not going to do a site walk until our consultant confirms this, right?
I mean, we could possibly do it with the consultant also. We could do it after. It's too early.
Are they gonna charge us extra if we back long?
It's a little too early right now since we haven't even
Two different price points, I think, Bob.
Huh?
Two different price points.
Yeah, true.
Okay, next question. Again, since I've walked up there quite a bit, on this side of the Farm Street area, and also on the other side, starting at before the front gate, before you get into the off of Hemlock Road by the side of the high school, there have already been bulldozers up there clearing a lot of the land. Are they allowed to do that before all the markings?
Where is that occurring?
Oh, wait a minute, I got my mouse. Can you see my pointer?
No, but you can direct Frank to move his.
Okay, starting from Farm Circle, head up, go out, start at Farm Circle where the wetland area is.
June Circle?
Yes, June Circle. I'm sorry, what was I saying? Okay, start on the red line where the power unit is. Okay, move to the right a little more.
Near the power lines? Okay.
Yeah, right there. Approximately there. Okay, there. Move a little further up in that area. And then starting at the other side of where the Northeast Vocational School is, up at the top. Yep, to the right more. Almost where the road is on the corner. Yeah, right around there. Up there, there's a lot of trees cleared. I mean, we went up there, some slushy area up there. I don't know if you consider it wetlands, but there's a lot of areas where a bulldozer's got in there and cleared sections, probably 20 by 20, and pushed trees off. The trees have come out of the ground and just pushed off to the side. Are they allowed to start this project without?
No, I don't know. Has anybody know what's happening there or aware of this?
Yes. Go ahead, Andrea.
Oh, I was going to say niche engineering is on. Michelle, if you want to talk about that, but it looks like there's been some test pits, soil test pits scattered here and there throughout the site within upland areas. And those activities, based on their location, it looks like they occurred outside the buffer zone, but those are exploratory activities that are exempt from Wetlands Protection Act because they're temporary in nature and such.
Would you call it?
So to answer that question, so it would be non-jurisdictional areas to us if there's no wetlands or resource areas around there. And from what Andrea just said, they've done some test pit digging and some other exploratory stuff.
There's quite a few trees being cleared away and stacked on each other.
Elaine, have you been up there at all?
Yes, I have. It looks like they're preparing test pits.
But wouldn't, if somebody's digging out trees and moving trees and uprooting trees, or I'm not sure if they're doing any rock items, but wouldn't the digging affect the wetlands?
When I was up there, excuse me, there's an echo for me, so I'll talk slowly. When I was up there with Andrea, I didn't see any digging that would affect wetlands.
And Elaine, it's all
far enough away.
It's all clearly non-jurisdictional areas, correct?
Michelle, can you maybe
yeah,
point
I'd say we should put 100 feet away.
I just asked Michelle if she could potentially point me. This is the filing with the resource areas. Are the test pits on this plan here?
I'm not aware actually of any test pits taking place. That might be going through the geotechnical engineer. I'm not involved in any of those test pits, so I can ask the owner.
I just got a text. It's to the right. It's to the right to the bottom edge.
Over here?
The person who texted me that unfortunately isn't on Zoom. He's just texting me. He's listening on the phone.
So that's the corner of the school, right where you're at now, Frank.
Right. So the potential areas, resource areas are shown in these dashed lines. So it's, you know, it's a very limited area based on this initial survey that we're confirming. And certain test pits are allowed. You know, you can do some exploratory investigations.
Let me get this map. Okay. Okay, in the middle. That's what the position of the old school that's in the middle there, correct?
Correct.
Right. Okay. And to the left is the parking lot, correct?
This is the parking lot in here.
Okay, down at the bottom of the parking lot. Go from that area to the right-hand corner. And it's along that area right there.
Right here?
No, a little higher.
Over
okay,
here?
To the left.
So in the parking lot area?
No, to the left more. Now you're going into the trees. A little bit down a little bit. Yeah, towards the right and head down in a diagonal to the right left-hand corner. In that area.
So in here?
Yeah. If you can, I mean, if you go up there to where that, it's not the guardhouse. You know the little house that has the maps and stuff before you go into break guard?
Yeah.
There's an area right up there and to the left. And if you follow that up, probably about 75, 80 yards, that's the area that's the tracks. You can see the tracks of a backhoe or bulldozer.
So Frank, to the left of where your cursor is now, somewhere in that general area, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it does appear to be, you know, upland of the wetland area, or at least the BV. That's the buffer to the BVW, I assume, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100 foot.
But didn't Elaine just answer that question when she went out?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Brooks, the activities that you saw are well outside that 100-foot buffer area, so they would be non-jurisdictional to us.
Okay.
Anything within that dashed line would be jurisdictional. And we would certainly want to know about it if they were, you know, clearing or doing any type of work like of that nature.
Okay. Yeah, maybe during the site walk, we can look at the area, because if you're looking at those areas, which you find is jurisdictional, and doing a site walk, you'll be able to see how close it is.
And you can see that there's been a lot of development within that 100-foot buffer zone. I mean,
yeah,
there's all the trails are there, some of the parking lots there, you know.
Yeah, it seems like it's in certain areas coming up. It's almost as if it looks like they want to test areas where they anticipate putting a road. In some areas where they knock down trees, there's a lot of ledge there. So it's either go through or go around or whatever.
Yeah, there could be a number of reasons why they're looking at, you know, the soil or, you know, other things that are occurring there from a number of reasons, but it is non-jurisdictional for us. It's clearly outside the 100-foot, buffer, but we can certainly take a walk when we do our site walk and look at those areas.
Okay, now on the
any other resources.
Okay, now on the other section, it mentioned about 193 linear feet of an inland bank and 92 linear feet of a riverfront. Is that on the back side of the current northeast building?
Yeah, that would be the northeast corner.
Back of the school?
Yeah, back of the school towards the Vogue. So the extreme northeast corner would be potential riverfront.
Yeah, that's what I assume. So basically, does that 3181 linear feet is just grouped together of all the smaller ones all in the area? Or is it defined as specific area?
No, that would be the accumulation of all the bordering vegetated wetland lines, not one particular area.
Okay.
That the applicant has identified. Those are the things that we need to confirm.
Okay.
So Bob, it's one of the things we're trying to do tonight to make sure that as a commission, we're satisfied with the scope of that we're satisfied with the proposal.
Yes, and vote on the proposal. Yes, I think that's
yes.
Yeah,
I just want
the main purpose.
I just want to make sure.
I do want to give Mr. Brooks a chance to ask pertinent questions because I know he does have a number of questions for other abutters. Of course, we can only answer so much at this point, but is there anything else, Mr. Brooks?
No, as far as right now on the vegetation and the work that's already done, I've got that. I mean, the other let me see. Yeah, there's some of the questions I have is if they do mess with the wetlands, which is that on that previous map. But again, you don't have a proposal. We don't know if they're going to mess with it and run a culvert through June Circle.
We don't know any of those types of things.
Yeah, okay. So the proposal is just...
There is no proposal. Okay. All there is identification of resource areas on this particular parcel.
And that's what you have to decide.
Correct. Our authority is to uphold the Wetlands Protection Act.
Okay.
And that's what we're starting to do here.
I understand.
So the proposal seems pretty complete, I thought.
Yeah. Are there any questions about the proposal or any concerns? We have used Oxbow Associates before, and we've actually used them to identify vernal pools and work towards certifying vernal pools. So we are familiar with their work.
Can I just ask if Elaine or Rebecca have any questions about it?
If I have any questions, I hate this echo, I'm sorry. No, I think Oxbow is just the company to hire.
Okay. I have a question, Elaine. Was the proposal one that was suggested by Oxbow, or is that just them parroting criteria that we had given?
You know, Rebecca talked to Oxbow. You should ask Rebecca.
Nope, they came up with that on their own. I didn't supply them with any information other than the submittal.
Okay, and did they indicate that's kind of what when towns hire them to do this kind of confirmatory work? This is the scope. Okay, I think that's smart. I think that's I'm happier that this is what in their experience they think is the appropriate scope.
Okay. So
Andrea,
who is the signatory to this? Are we authorized to sign this, or does the town have to sign it?
I think as long as it's under 10,000, you guys can just select.
Mm-hmm. It's 9,500. I wonder.
I know.
Andrea, do you, is this something that, you know, as a courtesy, would you like us to, we can vote on it. I didn't know if there's something that you wanted to have the opportunity to look at, but if you do, then we can't vote on it tonight, right? Or if, I'm not sure whether you want to take this to look at it or because we can vote on it.
We're asking the applicant to pay for this, right?
Well, that's right. And I just think in fairness,
right.
They got the opportunity to look at it.
According to our policy, right. No, I just want to confirm that, Peter, that's all.
And you're sort of in a, I don't think we intended to box you in like this, but we can vote if you're good with it, we can vote on it tonight.
Yeah. Can I just ask a clarifying question? Is Oxbow proposing to do the vernal pool evaluation in its entirety, or do work that LEC would do in terms of doing our assessment or supporting our assessment?
Let's see what the scope's here. Just trying to find the
so it's really this section 2,
number 2 on the first page.
Potential vernal pool evaluation. Should we just read it out loud?
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Okay. Potential vernal pool evaluation. There are no vernal pools, PVP or CVP project site, according to the current Massachusetts Natural Heritage Program database. However, there is a certified vernal pool, CVP, on the eastern property boundary and seasonally inundated within the delineated wetland. May function as a breeding habitat for pool amphibians or invertebrates. If authorized to proceed early enough, Oxford Associates will conduct a seasonally appropriate field evaluation of the site and photo document any evidence of any assemblages of amphibians associated with any seasonal pressure on site and the one CDP along the eastern property line, if permission is obtained by us. Evaluations will be conducted over 1 to 2 field days and will be scheduled as soon as possible following authorization to proceed. April to early May is the preferable observation season to make a thorough evaluation of prospective pools, since this is towards the middle of the larval development period of our target amphibians. Field work will include wading, surveying prospective pools, searching for egg masses of amphibians, identifying and photographing adult and larval amphibians, and use of dip to assess invertebrate faunal components associated with each area. Oxford Associates will conduct deep netting and general inventory of prospective pools to confirm or refute characteristics to meet area to certify each examination area. Physical parameters and photographic documentation for individual pools will be included in the data recording. Observations will be provided in narrative form with a tabular presentation of all occurrences, species observed, and invertebrate, frog, wood frogs, moles, salamanders, pH, water temperature, mean and max depth, etc. Data collected in observation bay will be presented in narrative text with GIS-based maps to indicate location, significant observations. This narrative and information will be part of the final report. This task does not include filing necessary paperwork to apply for certification of the state criteria mentioned above, but we can provide the service under separate agreements. We do not want to include this in our costs because it could be 0 to 1, 2, or 3. You know, there could be 1, 2, or 3 more CVPs. So that's the, so it sounds to me like it's sort of open-ended. Andrea, it sounds to me like it's sort of open-ended what they're going to do.
So they'll do everything up to filing any necessary paperwork to apply for certification. And if we wanted to keep going, if there is proof, that would be under a separate service agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So does that clear that up? So they would do what we need to get up to that point, but not do any certification with the state.
Can we send a copy? Can we send a copy of this letter to you? I mean, that's something we can use, you know, so you have it.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. I appreciate that. The project would need, you know, the school project, they would need to approve the funds, but in scope, this is reasonable. I was anticipating that LEC would be doing the site evaluation. So however it comes to pass, you know, that's all fine. You know, so we don't have a problem with it.
So would it be appropriate for us to vote on it pending your client's approval of it, Andrea? I'm sorry, and Bob?
Well, we'd be voting to, you know, hire Oxbow, though technically they're being paid for by the applicant. So I guess the question is, Andrea, do we need to hold off on anything with you to get any type of go-ahead from your side?
I think they know that it's coming. This is Michelle Callahan from Niche. We've talked to them about the peer review process and how it's going to be required under the ANRAD, so they're aware that it's happening. I think if you vote to approve Oxbow, we can just send this along after you vote on it to the owner, and then just let them know. And then if there's any issues, we can work it out later. But I think this makes sense. The scope seems to make sense. So I think that's the best path forward.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. All right, so that being said, would somebody like to make a motion?
I have one more question. Or can I wait? Could I talk before the motion?
Does it have anything pertaining to this particular task?
Yes.
Okay, ask your question, please.
Okay, I mentioned before, because I just got this from another person on my phone. I mentioned before that there was, and I mentioned, I think I talked to Elaine, I didn't mention it in the conversation, that there's areas on the property that has an endangered species of orchid called lady slippers. And I was just informed by him that they do not come out till June. We did walk some of that area where I mentioned they were already bulldozing, and he told me that they already bulldozed over some of those areas on the hill as well, where the lady slippers do grow.
Is that area that you're referring to jurisdictional to us? Or is it outside of the 100-foot buffer?
I think it's outside the jurisdictional. I would have to go with him because he knows where all the areas are, where he's seen most of them. But it was on the areas that, so if those areas that are bulldozed with the trees and for the scope they were looking at, it's possible they weren't aware that they're in there and they just bulldozed them over. But it's probably outside of that jurisdictional area where you talked that a vernal pond was. You put the 100-foot buffers in.
So I'm not quite sure who can best answer that question. Who would be the authority on that type of situation, or who would handle those types of things? I don't know if it's Michelle or Andrea.
Yeah. So what I can convey is that the site is not mapped by natural heritage for containing any rare or endangered plants or animals. Lady slippers in and of themselves are not designated as a rare and endangered plant. There are some species that are, but the common lady slipper is not one of them. You know, I can do some research to see where those rare species of lady slippers occur generally. Sometimes they might be more local to Cape Cod or Western Mass. So I'd have to do a little bit of research on that.
Yeah, I would, yeah, when he informed me about that, I looked it up and it said that they're an endangered species specifically to the Northeast. Now where, you know, I'm not really sure, but I'm just finding out about this project. And a lot of times you walk through the woods, you know, you don't see everything that's out there, but there were clumps of them in a couple of different areas. But he said they grow all over the place.
Yeah, if he has pictures of them, you know, that's some way to help.
I could find out.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, if you could see if he has one, that helps in figuring that out.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Andrea. All right, so Beck, do we have a motion to approve Oxbow Associates to be our peer review?
We had the motion, didn't we?
Who made that motion?
I didn't hear a motion.
You were starting before I interrupted. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I'm not sure who made the motion.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, Jimmy,
Yes.
we can hear you now.
Okay, good.
All right, so we are waiting for a motion then.
I'll make the motion.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Teresa,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Frank.
Yes.
Silvana,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I also vote yes.
I do have one question. If we look at the very end of this, it says where the contract is being paid for by the project proponent, by the applicant, such that the town of Wakefield would be reimbursed by the for Oxford Associates Services. The underside agrees to the terms and services of this agreement. So I believe that this contemplates that that this will be countersigned by that this is going to be countersigned by the applicant. If you look at the last page.
But it's not going to be reimbursed, it's going to be paid directly by, no?
I'm just looking at this. I guess my point is only that we're voting to agree and accept. There's an agreed and accepted above it. If you scroll up just a little bit, you know, to the following. But that's us. That we're the client. So we would. So I think we voted to. I take it what we just voted to do was to agree and accept and to authorize the execution by you know, probably our chairman. But the question is, it contemplates that it's going to be countersigned by the, that's all I'm making a point of, is contemplates being countersigned by the applicant. And I don't know if they're going to start work until they, you know, and I know that we want to get this done. And I just wanted to point out that if we're going to get them started working, we want to, you know, this needs to be countersigned, I bet.
How did we do this for Quantipower Parkway? Did they send us a bill, or did they send a bill directly to the consultant?
Typically what happens is the applicant, in this case the town, would put money in an escrow account that the town holds, and they would draw, and then the town Conservation Commission would pay those invoices directly to the peer review consultant.
Is Judy on the call?
Is that Teresa?
Wouldn't Judy know how we handle Lake Quantipower?
Yeah. I thought when we had our process, by the way, we had, this was kind of spelled out in our policy. In the policy that we have. And I think the policy, I think you're right, that not only would it be countersigned by the, not only would it be countersigned, you know, ideally from our standpoint, not only would this be countersigned by the applicant, but the applicant would deposit the funds so that we could hold them in escrow, so that there would be no issue, you know, you know, being potentially responsible to pay out of our own funds. And I'm just pointing that out. And I know that we want to get started, but there's, you know, I think the incentives are all here to get this all lined up.
All right, so do we need a signature of the applicant?
Certainly contemplates it.
Only Oxbow knows that, could tell us that. That's I asked that question, and I don't know if they will just start without saying yes, go ahead, without a signature on
it. And you know what? They shouldn't. And do we want them to start without a signature on it? I guess that is our I just think it makes sense already not to have misunderstandings. But I certainly think from our standpoint, we're willing to agree and accept it. And that we're going to sign it. And then the question is whether we're going to deliver it after it's countersigned or not.
Well, I think we need to, again, I'm embarrassed to say this, that we need to investigate how we handled the consultant for Lake Quannapowitt and do it the same way.
And also review our policy because it's spelled out in our policy.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and Frank, can you go to the Conservation Commission website to pull the policy?
See if we can do that. Notice that we have to ask someone that,
or Ken. I'll ask
somebody who's
a couple of the youngsters.
I've never found it on the website.
I haven't been called young in a while. Thank you.
I'm just kind of feeling you're kind of making me feel more irrelevant than I usually feel.
You thought the lawyers would have this all figured out.
Well, we should have.
No. Yeah.
we should have, Bob. You're absolutely right.
Okay. There we go.
Yay.
Oh, there we go.
Got it. You beat me.
Keep on going down.
All right, we get the legal eyes reviewing.
Here we go. Number 5 seems pertinent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So just what Andrew said, it has to be deposited in the town of Wakefield.
All right.
So in this case, more, town to town readjustment or school, school department to town. So hopefully that can be worked out.
Well, except that the North East VoTech is comprised of not just the town of Wakefield, Andrea. So it's not exactly. It's
okay.
Many towns.
Good point. Thank you.
And Andrea, this is something that can be pulled right off our website, right? This is something that. Ken, did you get this or did?
Yes, it's on
Frank
the website.
did, but it's on the website.
Okay, so it does say the fee must be received in its entirety prior to the initiation of the consulting services. So I guess I just want to make sure that from our standpoint, we have approved it, and we are. I guess we voted that we approve it, but subject to, paragraph 5, and.
So in fact, again, they don't need to sign this letter because the money will be with the town already. Right?
Yeah.
Just
yes.
a piece of paper saying they'll pay it.
So I guess this thing contemplates that one. I mean, the totality of this is that the Oxbow contemplates that the applicant will countersign the letter, and we contemplate that Oxbow, concurrently with countersigning the letter, would deposit the $9,500 with the town hall, and that would be and those would be the conditions proceeding to work starting.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I know Andrew, you indicated that you were anxious to have us, to keep this process moving, and could we please approve this, get this in place by the next meeting? So I think we've gone as far as we can go now, and now the ball's kind of in the applicant's court to get the review completed as promptly as possible. All I want to do is sort of lay out the critical path to those guys getting out in the field and doing what you want them to do.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. We'll be working with the proponent to provide the funds, and having this proposal by Oxbow will help facilitate that. And
Okay, so
we're still not quite in vernal pool season. We're still on the verge, so hopefully that will be adequate.
Plenty of time.
So I think it's fair to say that we've approved, that vote was to approve the signing of that agreement, the delivery of which is, is going to be contingent on, the countersigning by Oxbow, and that, contingent and, the effectiveness to be contingent on Oxbow countersigning this and depositing the funds. or not Oxbow, the applicant rather.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so next steps, we wait to hear back from you, Andrea?
Yeah, I mean, we'll let you know and coordinate with Elaine and Rebecca on how and to get the funds over to the commission to then release Oxbow to do the work.
Yeah, so what we'll need, we'll need is a copy of that proposal and also a copy of the minutes just stating that you all have voted to approve the proposal, so we can send that to the owner to get the funds released.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you.
Can we mark those minutes as draft, Judy? Because we usually agree on those at the next meeting. Are draft minutes acceptable?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
So that worked out. We accomplished what the applicant hoped we would do, and I'm pleased that we did it.
Right. So obviously we'll be continuing this. The next meeting right now is scheduled for March 25th, Thursday. And there'll be, there could possibly be communication before then, between the commission and the applicant as regards to, accepting Oxbow and the transfer of funds. Hopefully that can all happen over the next 2 weeks and we can get started, on this with plenty of time to, potentially get out there at vernal pool time. So Andrea will be continuing for 2 weeks until March 25th.
Okay, thank you. And was the commission interested in doing a site walk now or wait until Oxbow conducts their review?
Today would have been a good day to do a site walk.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been.
Now we'll just have to wait until the real spring comes.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to wait until Oxbow has done theirs or do it?
I think I'm going to wait.
Yeah. I mean, anybody's free to take a walk on their own, but as a group, I think we should definitely wait.
Yep. And Andrea, we need to confirm that at least 95% of the flags are out there as shown in the scope by Oxbow. Because they're basically confirming flags, not redelineating.
Yeah, they are in our walk with Elaine last.
Yeah, Elaine just said that, Frank, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to note that because there might be a fee impact if they're not all there.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
As far as the site walk, what about the abutters? Will we be going along with the commission on the site walk?
We'll schedule it at a public hearing, so you'll know about it.
Okay.
I think you need to ask the applicant if it's acceptable to have other people on the sidewalk.
I think that's right. It's private property, right?
Private property.
I'll run that by the owner and we can report back on that.
Yeah, and tell them, specify where the abutters too.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next bit of business. Anybody's welcome to stay on if they'd like or jump off. We do have some older new business to cover that we need to take care of.
I should be done. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Have a good night.
Okay.
All right. So Rebecca or Elaine, any particular order you'd like to tack these in?
No.
Nope.
All right. So first up is the discussion of conditions then for Vetsfield, 41 Church Street, which is DEP 313598.
Just wanted to note that it looks like that we had asked that that Elaine had requested a special condition that there be the landscaping plan submitted prior to commencement of the work.
Yeah, and Rebecca had also asked for, was it a particular wetlands mix or plantings in the replication area or something? I forget.
So I actually prepared a plan, a landscaping plan for both the bioretention area and also the invasive species area that after speaking with, hold on, my screen just moved, sorry. After speaking with Bill Vernal, he did take a look at the landscaping plans and he was happy with them. And he agreed that for the invasive species removal area, we can create a pollinator garden in that area. So if I can share my screen, I'll show you what I came up with.
You know, that's a great idea.
Yeah, he was open to it. It was awesome. Hold on one sec. I don't know how to do this, so hold on. Do I pull it up first?
Yeah, have the document open and then share your screen and choose the view that you want to share.
Never clear which screen you're sharing though. That's what confuses me. I can't tell which screen is being shared.
Do you see anything?
We do.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so.
Very nice wallpaper.
Say again?
Very nice wallpaper.
Oh, all right. So it's not exactly the correct size. I do have to change it a little bit, but this is the bioretention area. So the outlet is right there. And on this side is over these stones are where the sediment forebay empties out into the infiltration basin. This is the infiltration basin. So I did send this plan over to Bill. He said, fine. I can tell you what, hold on, let me try to change. Do you see it if it changes?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it
Yeah.
now.
Oh, wait.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very nice.
You know.
Is that the pickleball court?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm not very good at this. So I was trying to give an idea of what it would look like if you were walking down the path.
Yeah, so we can see the path. We're at the corner of the tennis courts right now.
Yep.
And those are existing trees, right? That are going to stay?
No, these are 3 river birches. I know they don't look like river birches, but those are 3 river birches that they proposed planting.
Wasn't there one big tree that was going to remain in place?
I know there's a tree that's going to be taken down.
Oh, okay.
In this area.
Okay.
So I can go back and I can, it won't look like this all the time. Clearly, this is like the best case scenario. And obviously some of the plants are going to die back and you're not going to see them. But all of these plants can handle the saturation that we're assuming is going to happen in the infiltration basin. They're all native. They're obviously colorful at some point in time. Some of them are fruit bearing. So there'll be wildlife habitat here as well. I'll go back to this. And I can tell you what they are. Actually, I have another thing that I can open up to show you, but.
On the left-hand side, we have the.
No, that's just to paint the pretty picture.
Oh.
All right, hold on one sec. Let's see if I can get something else.
What program is this?
Hold on one sec.
Garden planner.
Oh, there you go. I did label them, but I just wasn't sure how to show you. So can you see that?
No.
You don't see the one with the labels?
No. Oh, yeah, on the left-hand side, you mean? Yes.
Nope, I don't want that one. Hold on. Do I have to close it?
Well, you're changing to a different.
Yeah.
So yes.
All right, hold on. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. Do you see that?
No.
Just see you right now.
No, I don't want you to see me. All right, never mind. I'll go back to the other one.
The dog on the couch.
Oh yeah, that is a dog on a couch. Try this again. Sorry. Well, anyway, nonetheless, and I can send it to you so that you guys can look at it. Do you see it again?
No, did you select it and then choose share?
Oh, no. I'm gonna try a different one because I have 2. I also have a plan for the invasive species area. Try this. God, I'm terrible at this.
We'll send Jimmy over to help you.
Oh my God. Hold on one sec.
That's pretty good, Bob.
I know. Yeah,
all right, JR, let me call you back.
Back up. I want to share my screen.
Down here, share screen.
I did that.
What are you showing? What are you trying to share? Get on the screen.
I do.
Well, Jimmy got there fast.
While still being on his phone.
Close this screen. Okay.
It's my house all the time.
Open what you want to do.
No one has a camera.
Go back to Zoom, down there. Now hit share screen. Boom.
Oh, there it is. Hey, I wasn't there before.
And then ask them if they can see it.
Can you
got it?
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so this is where they are proposing to remove all the invasive species. And like I said, Bill gave me the go ahead to select what I wanted to create a pollinator garden. So that's what we have here. So this is the old head wall that they're going to take out, just giving you reference there. Obviously the path, I thought maybe we could, it's a little bit of a slope. Actually, I could show you this way too. Jeez. Hold on. It's like a motion ride. I figured this out.
It's like Minecraft.
There
I
we go.
only know because my daughter plays.
All right, just bear with me for one more second. This is so crazy. Anyway, this is what it looks like. So it's on a slope. And so we have sort of at the top, we have, this is a butterfly weed and this is a dryer. So that would be suitable for the top of the slope. Down here, this is a cardinal flower and this is a swamp milkweed. Up in the behind, we have the common milkweed. So basically all it is a pollinator garden. And there's again, some sort of seasonal interest. This one's with the pom-poms is the button bush. This one is a chokeberry, so there'll be berries in the winter. Similar to the previous plan for the bioretention, like I had some red twig dogwood in there, so in the winter it's kind of interesting looking. So basically that's it. So if you guys are happy with these plans, or if you want me to change anything, Bill was happy with the plans.
Wow,
so
that's
you guys, if this is satisfying to you, then we can put them in the order, or we can keep working and you can just reference the conditions saying that something to be submitted.
No, I think you put a lot of thought into this, and you've picked some appropriate plantings that will have multiple benefits. They're going to brighten up the area. Plus, I love that idea of the pollinator aspect.
So I think probably the next thing on the agenda talks about a sign, whether or not the commission would approve to purchase a sign. So one of the things that I was talking to Bill about as well is I think he said that he had put a sign up at the head of the lake, just indicating like, I didn't see it, so I'm not sure, but what they had done. I think there's another infiltration basin up there. In any event, he was hoping that the commission would pay to have a sign installed that says something along the lines of, this area had invasive species, they were removed, and we've created a pollinator garden, and put a little science behind it. So some type of informational little sign so that when people walk down the path, they can understand what they're looking at.
That's a great idea, I think.
Great, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think there's a huge educational component that would further that people know that the town is taking steps.
Did he cost of that sign?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Did he know the cost of that?
So he sent me, and I should have had that, and I apologize. I should have had that before I brought it up. But he sent me the website of where he has purchased the signs before, and they have examples. So I will get that, obviously get that to you beforehand, but at least now you're familiar with what we were talking about. I can either email it to you when I find out potentially next week, or we can have it at the next meeting, whatever you'd like.
But that wouldn't be part of the orders of condition.
No.
No, because they want us to pay for it. That's on us, right?
Yes. But they
It's a fair trade, I think.
Oh, would the condition be, would we put in the condition that they permit us to put a sign there? I don't even know,
I don't think that's necessary, but you can.
No, I don't know. No, I'm just curious about it. I like that idea,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of education, brings me to the next topic. So while I was working on this, and more so the bioretention area, there's a book that Elaine told me about that I looked through that was fantastic. And it talks about phytotechnologies, and it just talks a lot about the science behind using plants to perform various functions that previously more engineering hardscapes took care of. So I used this book to prepare the plan for the bioretention basin. And in the back of the book is it says like other resources. And the first one listed was a company in Boston. And there's a woman who works at the company who has actually co-authored the book. So I emailed them and I said, we are looking into bioretention basins and phytotechnologies. Would you be willing to speak to the commission to give us a little bit of an education on what this is, how they work, and what we should be looking for? And that way, as we see more of these come along, which I think is what is going to happen, that we're all familiar and comfortable with what we should be looking for and how it all works. So she replied back that yes, she'd be happy to do that if you guys are interested. And she said she requested a stipend of $200.
Okay.
So if you guys are interested in something like that, one would be we can organize a time to have this type of thing, another Zoom meeting. I told her I'd get back to her, set up a time that everyone can meet. Two is you would have to approve the money for it. And three, consider whether or not who you'd like to open this up to, and whether or not you'd like to say the commission is hosting this person to do a talk on phytoremediation and other technologies. If you think that there are various people or interested parties, I don't know who you want to, how many people you want to open it up to, or who, but you can consider that as well if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I guess I'd like to just finish off the order of conditions for this, because that's a great idea, but nothing to do with this order of conditions, right?
True.
All right, so we can certainly do that. So back to 41 Church Street, it is related to this particular topic because of the bioretention area and the gardens. But anyways, we talked about a standard order of conditions with 2 extra conditions. Is that correct?
Well, it's going to be, the plan is going to be attached. What's the second one, Bob?
There was, we would submit the planting plan for the invasive species replication area, and then also the planting plan for the bioretention area, or it could be one condition. Well, those are 2 additions that Rebecca had brought forth.
And what about an O&M plan? Do we need to condition that they provide an O&M plan, or is that different? Is that separate?
They included one in the notice of intent.
Right. Oh, that did come in? I thought they were going to provide a separate one.
So I think what Bill is doing is he has prepared O&M plans for like bioretention basins as a whole. And he has, like we have our standard order of conditions, he has this standard O&M plan that I think each time one of these is created, he will probably submit that. And it talks about yearly mulching, yearly weeding, etc.
Mhm.
But I think actually the condition would be that we'd be incorporating Rebecca's planting schemes for these two areas on this particular project. That sound right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can reference the landscaping plan right in the order.
All right, so we won't even need a special condition then.
No, and we can reference the O&M plan in the order as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there something we want to talk about as far as if the plants die, they get replaced, or think something like that, so that we don't have gaping holes? Because, you know, I mean,
Yeah, when would they be planted? How many growing seasons do they need to last, and all of that, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, it is experimental right now, so we're trying this out, which I think is a great idea. But I'm just wondering, you know, we want to make sure it stays nice looking.
And also, you want to give the experiment a fair chance to work over time.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that really what it's all about? Is that the plants die, and we'll never know if the experiment worked on a long-term basis. So I do think that makes sense. And I think more, you know, I don't know how many growing seasons it would take, but it seems to me like it ought to be something that, if we're going to design this thing to be bed, I don't know, what is, you know.
I mean, the first one I think is going to be a learning process for us, just to see that we've got it right. So you might expect to have some loss of plants. I think there should be something in there that says that he's going to maintain it.
Well, is this area going to be separated or fenced or preventing people from going into it, or?
I haven't seen a fence. No one's even talked about a fence. That's a good point.
And we don't want them clearly going in there and mowing it either, for that matter.
Yeah.
Well, right. And if the whole point is that this is a feature that is kind of compensatory for putting a pickleball court and doing some other things, isn't it that we ought to be insisting sort of be done on sort of a perpetual, maintain in perpetuity? I mean, because in other words, this thing dies in 2-3 years, even if it's 2, 3, 4 years, and the pickleball court stays for 50. You know, that's not a very good trade. Just making a point. I mean, it seems to me like that really is something that they're promised that they're going to create and maintain this. And if they want to do something different because it turns out it doesn't work, they come back to us and talk to us about it, I'm thinking.
And we didn't talk about a fence at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want to see a fence, would you?
Well, maybe not a fence, but some sort of, you know, I don't know, delineation or something. We don't want people walking through there.
Thing, please don't.
Or edging around it or something.
And if this is experimental, I mean, should we? I mean, I guess my point is that if they're paving, we're going to have more impervious area, and actually more development closer to the lake, and this is meant to be compensatory, and this is experimental. Shouldn't we be saying that we expect this to be maintained, and also should we ask that we have the opportunity for a few years to have discussions with them, that they'll to see, to get sort of a report on what they're learning.
Yeah.
No, I want to know about it, I guess.
I agree.
Well, we could put, the signage could, explain a little bit more than maybe what we mentioned before, that it is a test area, and, please do not, enter or whatever, the sensitive area.
How big is this area again?
30 by 60.
If I could add something here.
Sure.
I'm looking at the operation and maintenance plan. And it says here, there's a section on inspection and maintenance. And it says regular inspection and maintenance. And then it says, hold on. When failure is discovered, excavate the bioretention area Scarify the bottom and sides. Replace the filter fabric and soil. Replant vegetation and mulch the surface. That's right in the O&M plan.
Okay.
And this is contemplated to go in perpetuity then, right? I mean, indefinitely, right?
Well, we have conditions that do go in perpetuity. So it's certainly something we can ensure.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to make, all I want to do is make sure that if the, you know, that there's a sense that it's permanent, you know, that it's long-term. This is a long-term experiment, not a short-term one.
Well, the bioretention area is basically part of stormwater management. So it would be considered like a structure, just like anything else. Like you have detention basins, or you have, even when you have like deep sump catch basins, they're all part of the stormwater management system. This is as well. I mean, it looks like a nice garden, but it's really functioning. So I think it does have to stay in perpetuity for as long as they have stormwater runoff being collected and discharged. So I don't think that would go anywhere.
I can add a condition in the order that says that the O&M plan will go on in perpetuity.
Yeah.
So it's just right in there.
There's no time frame in the O&M plan. He mentioned that in the last meeting. It doesn't say for 1 year or for 2 years or anything like that.
Well, you could say something also that prior to the issuance of a certificate of compliance, the applicant must demonstrate that there's 80% coverage or something.
Yeah.
Well, the O&M language looked pretty good. Oh, that's I'm gratified to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the consensus?
Well, let me ask you something. If the thing failed, this is a wild scenario, but if it failed, would you be accepting them throwing out the wildflower seed mix, or that's, I mean, what if they change? I wouldn't want them to change what they've done and put something lesser in than what we would have had if it was. I would prefer to have it corrected to see what the problem was and then reestablished with the same plants. I mean, I don't want to see, like, I can't imagine that they would, all the plants would die and they decided to plant grass there. How would
but isn't that what Elaine, what you read, didn't they contemplate that they would start all over again if it failed?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know they'll start all over again, but I know that Bill had mentioned that they would just put more grass down is the way I understood it from him. So I guess it's covered. I guess it is covered.
Well, would you have to come back before us if it did fail, because it'd be working in a resource?
Yeah, right. You'd hope they would. Yeah. Okay, it's fine.
All right, so where does that leave us with conditions or not? I've lost track.
I have that we would reference the O&M plan, reference Rebecca's landscaping plans, and put a special condition that the maintenance for the O&M plan will remain in perpetuity.
Okay. I think you've got it, Elaine. So we got 3 special conditions. Everybody okay with those?
Yes.
I'm thinking.
I'm good.
Now, we're going to have 2 orders of conditions to be signed. How are we going to get those signed?
We'll have to pass them around like we've done.
Oh, I'll send them out like I did before. I'll mail out the signature page to Jim, and then it moves forward to 3 other people. There's a self-addressed envelope back to the Conservation Commission. Last person, mail it back.
We haven't done that before here, have we?
We did it once.
How'd it work?
Well, I got it back.
I was the last signer, and Jimmy, I think, hand delivered it back.
Okay.
Okay, I don't remember. That happened during the pandemic?
Just about a month ago.
Yeah.
I think that was me. Didn't I pick it up from your mailbox?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was another time. Another time Jimmy came by here and I signed, and he hand delivered. So yeah, we've been figuring it out somehow.
Alrighty. But now we should get back to Rebecca's question about paying $200 for the.
Well, we didn't actually make the motion or second it or approve it. So is there a motion?
I make the motion to issue the order as stated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Peter?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Silvana?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Jimmy?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Okay. So we talked about the conditions. We talked about payment for the sign. We already reviewed the proposal from Oxbow. And we were last talking about the educational talk from Offshoots Inc. that Rebecca was talking about. So it was $200 and it would be a Zoom call. And we would need to talk about, do we want to do that or not? I think it'd be very interesting. I think we could all learn a lot.
What a great tree that is.
I'm all for it. For $200, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
This is actually the book we have.
How was it decided for the light pollution seminar on who to include or who not to include?
Yeah, I think we just put it on our website, right? And it was in the minutes and anybody could join that wanted to. It was part of our regular meet. It was a meeting for us, but anybody could join.
But it was a special meeting. It wasn't it wasn't part of a regular, every other second.
Correct. But it was a Conservation Commission meeting that hosted the event.
We should do the same thing, no?
Everybody like this idea? I think it's a good idea.
Do we need to vote on it or just do you need straw poll?
Yeah, we should vote because it is requiring an appropriation of funds. So would somebody like to make a motion to approve the educational talk by Offshoots Productive Landscapes?
Motion. Approve.
Is that a motion, Peter?
Yes, it is indeed.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Okay. Ken?
Yes.
Silvana?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Jimmy?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Okay. Rebecca, you'll get that set up?
I will get that set up and send. I'm assuming that you guys want it in the evening.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll just, I'll email over to her and see what we find out. Let you know.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Do we have anything else to cover? No? From Rebecca?
I have anything else?
Elaine?
No, I have nothing else.
Judy?
No, I'm all set.
All right, so if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to close, to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Ken,
Yes.
Silvana,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. So meeting is adjourned.